Today we're going to be talking about why keeping your brand one-dimensional is going to absolutely devastate your community. Stay tuned. If you're an avid Instagram user, I'm sure you've noticed, as well as other people on Facebook and WhatsApp, that there were outages and bugs that kept happening throughout the month of July and previously in 2018 and early 2019. These things can be directly attributed to the new Instagram algorithm updates as well as the new Facebook updates that we've been seeing throughout this 2019 period. In an effort to stop automation, Instagram is pushing for more unique and reduced amount of actions per Instagram account. Therefore, we've seen a lot of blocks, a lot of banned accounts, as well as a lot of bugs that have been coming to the platform. And this is just a perfect example, and I want you guys to take notice of this, is if your brand is strictly only on Instagram, during that outage, your brand could do nothing in response to communicate with its actual community to tell them what's happening, notify them of any changes, or actually push any products. So when specifically these platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp all went down, it left a lot of individuals vulnerable because they are specifically one-dimensional. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are all under the same parent company, meaning that if one platform goes down, typically you will see the other two also have similar bugs, leaving your brand kind of in a corner if you're relying strictly only on Facebook and Instagram. Therefore, spreading your community to alternative social platforms is a great way to diversify your community as well as diversify your channels for communication and content. That being said, when these outages do occur on Instagram and Facebook, luckily, since you have established community on other social platforms, you'll be able to really communicate with them and talk about the outages, possibly talk about future updates that might happen while this outage is still occurring on another platform, and you'll be able to really strengthen your relationship without ever having to worry if one platform goes down, because you'll have multiple avenues for connections between your consumers and your brand. That being said, I want you guys to really start focusing on creating content specifically for these other platforms. Although Instagram, Facebook are the very large, dominant social platforms that you should be focusing on right now, it's been proven to show to us that they are faulty and they will have bugs, and there will be days where they won't work at all, leaving your business susceptible. The last thing you want is to have all communication cut off with your audience. That being said, one of my favorite places to start incorporating branded content and to start really building connections with my consumers is through Twitter. Possibly one of the best ways to actually talk to any famous person, any celebrity, any brand is through their Twitter feed. Twitter is one of the best ways to get a direct line of contact to a brand because you can personally @ them and they will actually see the notification on their screen. It's very tough to get missed in Twitter unless the brand or consumer is simply just not responding to comments and or messages. However, Twitter is one of the best ways for a fast line of direct communication to your favorite brand or consumer. If you are a brand or consumer like myself, it's important that you guys start establishing these communities on Twitter. You can use things like Instagram story links or URL links in your bio in order to start directing traffic from your Instagram to your Twitter. It's important that you start pushing your community over there, especially because this is going to serve as a follow type of action, which is going to lead to higher engagement and a better following on your Twitter account, because specifically you'll be filtering the inactive users from your Instagram account to you'll be filtering them out, but the active individuals will actually be filtering to your Twitter because they will need to take the necessary action in order to actually follow you on their Twitter. The second place where I'm really interested on starting to producing more content that is both branded but not salesy is actually long form video content. Whether it be IGTV or YouTube, it's important that you guys start putting out long form video content that establishes your brand's characteristics and voice. Although it is important to start selling things, it's even more important to establish a top of mind awareness for your brand inside of your consumers. That being said, when voice really takes over and Google search query goes down, the only thing that's going to remain is brand. So when an individual is maybe looking for the best foam roller, they're not just going to simply go to Google and type in find me a foam roller. They're going to simply say the brand name like bodybuilding.com foam roller, and they're instantly going to be taking that, circumventing all other possibility for other brands to kind of siphon that traffic away. When the search queries are gone, the only thing that's left is brand. Therefore, it is extremely important for you guys to start establishing your brand in the eyes of your consumer. The best way to do that is to just simply videotape your brand on a daily basis and start putting out content that actually creates an emotional attachment between the consumer and the brand. One of the best ways to do this is to simply just put out funny commercials or funny content, entertaining content, or really emotionally moving content. Although it doesn't specifically push your product, it does help build brand. An example, if you guys want to see a great piece of video content that doesn't really push any actual product but helps really establish a brand, is the Dwayne Wade Budweiser commercial done by VaynerMedia. Their actual commercial didn't necessarily have anything to do with Budweiser, but it's about a 3.5-minute long video of Dwayne Wade receiving jerseys from very memorable people in his life, and the entire scene is extremely moving. You become very attached throughout the video, both for Dwayne Wade and these individuals that he's helped throughout his lifetime, and it really establishes a strong emotional connection between consumers and actually the Budweiser brand. Budweiser is displayed only at the very last 10 seconds of the video, simply with just a small statement, with just a little bit of branding. But it was all that was needed. This actual emotionally moving content did all the delivery and all the conversion value for actual Budweiser. And they saw sales increase all throughout the country, specifically in Chicago and other areas where Dwayne Wade had a very strong influence from. Therefore, it's becoming increasingly more important for brands to start building content that isn't specifically marketing straight to consumers. We need to build content that establishes a brand's voice, characteristics, and overall just embodiment of who they are and what they do. With so many brands out there constantly pushing sales and coupons and other direct forms of promotional advertising, getting a piece of content that tells a story about a brand is a little more refreshing to a consumer, and it's actually a lot more engaging. You'll see your viewer and your retention rate actually drastically increase once you start focusing content on actually building a voice and characteristic for your brand. To sum it all up, guys, Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, although they're all under the same parent company and they're extremely powerful in this day and age, you should not leave your brand to be a one-dimensional product. Leaving your brand only to reside on these platforms leaves it susceptible to outages and other bugs that may occur on the platform that leave your brand absolutely communicationless. It won't be able to talk to any of their audiences, and you won't be able to communicate or build relationships with them during these outages. Therefore, it is essential that you guys start moving your communities off of Instagram to other social platforms. That doesn't mean you guys need to necessarily take all the work away from your Instagram if it is pulling in a ton of ROI. However, if it's not pulling in a ton of ROI, this would be a great time to start pushing your community to other platforms and really diversifying your marketing channels. This is actually going to be great for content creators as well, specifically behind brands, because although you've been creating content specifically for Instagram as well as Facebook, it'll really open up your content creator toolkit, and it'll really push you to think creatively about the type of content that you are going to be posting on these other social platforms like Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Vimeo, Musical.ly, or any of the other ones that you can think of. It's extremely important that you start building that different type of content on those platforms in order to engage and bring those communities off of Instagram to those platforms. So guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. Make sure to stay tuned to the next one.